was holding my breath, squeezed into the narrow, dusty gap between the hardwood floor and the frame of our massive honeymoon bed, trying desperately not to laugh out loud. My white wedding dress was bunched up around me like a cloud of tulle, but I didn't care. I had this perfect movie scene playing in my head. My new husband, Liam, would walk into the suite, maybe panic a little when he didn't see me, and then, surprise, I'd roll out from underneath the bed and we'd collapse onto the floor in a heap of laughter and kisses. That was us, or at least, that's who I thought we were. Liam was the guy who played guitar under my balcony at 3 a.m., but the door handle clicked, and the footsteps that entered weren't Liam's heavy boots. They were the sharp, terrifying click-clack of stilettos. It was Victoria, my mother-in-law. She swept into the bridal suite with that suffocating energy she always carried. "Yes, Brenda, I'm in the room now," she said, her voice sharp as she sat down heavily on the edge of the mattress, right above my head. The bed springs screamed in protest. I flattened myself against the floorboards, heart hammering. "No," Victoria continued into her phone. "The girl is a complete pushover. Docile. Honestly, it's pathetic. Liam says she's practically a stray dog. No family connections worth mentioning. Her dad is some low-level mechanic fixing cars in a garage. It's a tragedy, really." My blood froze in my veins. Docile? Mechanic? My father was the chief technical officer for a global aerospace defense firm. He was a brilliant, humble man who drove an old truck because he loved fixing it. And the small apartment Victoria had inspected? That was my late grandmother's place. In reality, my father and I shared a sprawling estate in the hills. I just never felt the need to wave my bank statements in my future mother-in-law's face. I wanted to be loved for me, not my trust fund. "Listen, Brenda, the plan is locked in," Victoria said, and I heard the distinctive flick of a lighter. Liam had sworn up and down his mother didn't smoke. They play house for 6 months, maybe a year tops. Then Liam starts the "we're incompatible" routine. I'll do my part. I'll testify that she's lazy, disrespectful, keeps a filthy house, the usual script. I lay there, paralyzed, listening to the smoke being exhaled above me. "We'll push for an amicable separation," she went on. "And the condo? The one she put in her name? We'll take it. Liam technically handed over the cash at the closing, so we have the paper trail. She won't fight back. What can a little mouse do against us? We have it all mapped out." Her phone rang again. "Hello, son. Yes, I'm in your room. No, your little bride is missing. Don't worry, she's trapped now. The ring is on, the certificate is signed. It's a done deal. Bird in a cage. Just remember the strategy. No weakness. You need to establish dominance from day one. Don't fall for the tears. You give these girls an inch, they take a mile." I lay beneath the bed, feeling my reality crumble into dust. This wasn't just a mean mother-in-law. This was a conspiracy. The man I had just pledged my life to, the man I adored, was a fraud. He was an actor in a play written by his mother to strip me of my assets. I remembered how insistent Liam was about the condo. "Put it in your name, baby. It's safer for you," he'd said with those puppy dog eyes. I thought he was being a protector. He was actually setting up a legal play to claim he paid for an asset I owned. "All right. Patience, Victoria," she muttered to herself. "I put up with my husband for 30 years before he finally kicked the bucket and left me the estate. This girl is easier prey. Let her think I'm just a bitter old witch. It works in our favor." She let out a dry, cruel chuckle and finally left the room. I stayed under that bed for what felt like an eternity. I was shaking, not from the cold floor, but from a volcanic rage that was slowly hardening into ice. My first instinct was to run. But then a different feeling took over, a calm, cold resolve. "No," I thought, "you tried to trap a mouse, but you just locked yourself in a cage with a tiger." I reached into my clutch and pulled out my phone. I had hit record the moment I heard footsteps. I had a full confession. I had the ace, but I wanted the whole deck. I crawled out, dusted off my dress, and stripped it off. I shoved the white tulle into the back of the closet, a symbol of a life that was now dead on arrival. I sat at my laptop. Liam wouldn't be back for a while. First call, my father, Robert. Elena, it's late, honey. Is everything okay? Dad, I need you to listen. Remember how you offered to transfer your shares of the firm to me? I need to do it. Now. What happened? His voice shifted. Did that idiot hurt you? Not physically. Can you get the notary to the house by 8 a.m.? Consider it done. And Elena, we'll transfer your grandmother's apartment to your name too. Thank you, Dad. I knew he was too good to be true. I warned you about him, honey, and that mother of his. But we'll fix it. Next call, Maya, my best friend and the sharpest shark of a lawyer in Atlanta. Maya, hypothetical. If I bought a property before the wedding, solely in my name, does my husband have a claim? Elena, you literally just got married. Answer the question. If it's premarital and in your name, it's separate property, unless he proves he made significant financial contributions or improvements. Why? I'll see you at 10 a.m. Bring your shark suit. The front door slammed downstairs. Elena? Baby, where are you? Liam's voice floated up. It sounded worried. Before tonight, I would have melted. Now, it sounded like a snake hissing. I walked downstairs, forcing my face into a mask of exhaustion. Hey, I said flatly. I was just organizing some things. I changed. He tried to hug me. It took every ounce of willpower not to recoil. You're freezing, he said. Let's get to bed. We have a big couple of weeks ahead. Vacation, setting up the house. Yeah, I said. Big weeks. He fell asleep instantly. I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, plotting. I had 2 weeks of vacation to ruin his life. The next morning, Liam woke me with a kiss on the cheek. Good morning, Mrs. Thompson. I almost corrected him. I kept my last name, idiot, but I smiled. Good morning. Coffee? Please, and maybe an omelet? Mom said you're a wizard in the kitchen. I almost laughed. Yesterday, his mom called me a useless stray. Today, I was a wizard. Shower first, I said. While he was in the bathroom, I hid my phone behind the coffee canister, recording. I took frozen pancakes out of the freezer, toasted them until they were hard as rocks, and drowned them in cheap syrup. No omelet for you, traitor. Liam came out, acting the part of the doting husband. He sat down, took a bite of the rubbery pancake, and grimaced. It's chewy, he said. It's a new recipe, low fat, I replied, sipping my coffee calmly. Hey, he said, chewing painfully. I was thinking, we should probably add my name to the condo deed, just for safety, since I'm the man of the house now. Gotcha. Why would we need to do that? I asked innocently. I can handle the HOA, or do you think I'm not capable? No, baby, just making things easier. We're partners. We'll talk later. Maya is coming over. Maya, your lawyer friend? Why? He looked nervous. Girl talk. Oh, and your mom is coming for dinner, right? What does she like? Everything. Just make it nice. First impressions matter. She has high standards. First impressions, if only he knew. Maya arrived at 10 a.m. sharp. I played the recording. Her jaw hit the floor. This is conspiracy to commit fraud, she whispered. Elena, we can bury them. We can sue them for everything. I don't want to just sue them, I said, my voice hard. I want to destroy them. I want them to feel what I felt under that bed. Okay, Maya grinned. Here's the play. Move your cash, secure the assets, and keep playing the dumb wife. Feed them enough rope to hang themselves. My father arrived with the notary. We signed over the shares. We locked down the trust. By noon, I was technically a multimillionaire on paper, and Liam had claimed to exactly 0% of it. I'm proud of you, Dad said. You're handling this like a CEO. Now for dinner. I went to the store. I bought the cheapest, saddest ingredients I could find. I bought chicken gizzards for a soup. I bought instant rice that I planned to overcook into glue. I bought canned meat, margarine. I made a broth that was essentially hot water and way too much cayenne pepper. Liam arrived at 7. Victoria arrived at 7:30, smelling like expensive perfume and condescension. "Elena, darling," she beamed, fake kissing the air. "How is the happy couple? And what's for dinner? I'm starving." "Wonderful," I deadpanned. "I made a special country feast just for you." The look on Victoria's face when she tasted the spicy gizzard soup was worth the price of the wedding. She coughed, hacking into her napkin. "What is this?" she gasped. "Grandma's recipe," I said sweetly. "Spicy, right? Clears the sinuses." "Very," she wheezed. "It's rustic." She wouldn't touch the glue rice. When I brought out the dessert, a cake made of margarine and sugar that hadn't risen at all, she stood up abruptly. "I'm feeling faint. The stress of the wedding, I think. Liam, walk me to the car." From the window, I watched her screaming at him in the driveway. Liam came back looking like a kicked puppy. "You ruined it," he hissed. "My mother is used to a standard, Elena, a standard you clearly don't understand. That food was garbage." "I cooked all day," I fake sobbed. "You said she ate everything. You said she wasn't picky." "Stop crying," he snapped. "Just do better next time. I'll take you out tomorrow. We need to fix this." I went to our room and smiled into my pillow. Phase 1 complete. The next week was a masterclass in psychological warfare. Liam became more demanding, parroting his mother's complaints about money. I played the victim, and I recorded everything. One night, Liam had his buddy Mark over. They got drunk on beer in the living room. "Man," Liam slurred, "the plan is genius. Mom's right. Give it a year, I take the condo, I take half her savings, and I'm out. She's clueless. Her dad is a mechanic or something. They won't even know what hit them. We'll crush them in court." "Savage," Mark laughed. "Is she rich?" "Nah, but the condo is worth a lot. And I've got the receipts saying I paid the deposit. It's free money." I sat in the kitchen, watching the audio waveforms spike on my phone screen. Got you. A few days later, I decided it was time for the finale. I called Victoria. "Victoria, I feel terrible about dinner. Please, come over tomorrow. I want to make it up to you. I'm making a real feast. I want us to be a family. I want to invite Liam's friends, too." She agreed, probably thinking she could twist the knife a little more, humiliate me in front of an audience. "Fine," she said, "but put some effort into it this time." The next night, the house was full. I had catered the food this time. Expensive, delicious, perfect. Victoria was holding court. "He always said he'd marry a princess," she laughed. "Well, he settled for a charming girl, a diamond in the rough." The room chuckled awkwardly. I stood up and tapped my glass with a spoon. The sound rang out, silencing the room. "I'd like to make a toast," I said, smiling radiantly. "To family, to honesty, and to the things we discover under the bed." Liam frowned. Victoria froze. "I have a little presentation," I said. I connected my phone to the Bluetooth speaker system. "The plan is simple," Victoria's voice boomed through the living room. "We get separated without a scandal, and we keep the condo. The girl is a stray dog, a docile mouse." Victoria dropped her wineglass. It shattered, red wine staining the white rug like blood. "What is this?" Liam stammered, standing up. "Elena?" "Shh," I said. "There's more." "She's clueless," Liam's drunken voice played next. "Her dad is a mechanic. We'll eat her alive in 2 days." The room was dead silent. Mark looked at the floor. Mark's wife looked at Liam with pure disgust. The doorbell rang. "That'll be Maya," I said. Maya walked in, looking like an executioner in a tailored suit. She handed a thick envelope to Victoria. "Mrs. Thompson," Maya said, "this is a formal notice. We've launched an investigation into your late husband's estate. Funny thing about that heart attack happening right after the assets were transferred. We have a witness, a nurse, who saw you tampering with his IV. It was a bluff, a total bluff. But Victoria didn't know that. She collapsed into a chair, gasping, "Lies! It's all lies!" she shrieked. I turned to Liam. I handed him a folder. Here are the transfer documents for the money I gave you for the condo. Here is my father's tax return, Chief Technical Officer, Defense Sector. And here are the divorce papers. Elena, Liam whispered, baby, please. It was her. It was all her idea. I love you. You love my assets, I corrected, stepping back. Pack a bag. You have 10 minutes. But we can fix this. Fix what, Liam? That you betrayed me? That you schemed to rob me? No. Get out. Victoria scrambled out the door, her dignity left in the puddle of wine. Liam followed, dragging a suitcase. When the door clicked shut, I finally let myself cry. Maya hugged me. You did it, she said. You're free. The divorce was brutal, but short. Liam didn't fight. He was too terrified of the fraud charges. Victoria fled the state, her reputation in tatters. I kept the condo, I kept my name, and I started over. Months later, I was at a coffee shop with Maya when a man walked up to our table, tall, broad shoulders, kind eyes. Excuse me, he said. I couldn't help but notice. Are those schematics for the new suspension bridge? No way, he smiled. I'm Adrian. I'm the lead architect on the Riverside project. Elena, I said, structural engineer. He sat down. We talked for 3 hours. He was everything Liam wasn't. Genuine, passionate, and he didn't care about my money. He was too busy caring about my mind. We took it slow. I had walls up, high ones, but Adrian climbed them, brick by brick, not with force, but with patience. When I finally told him about the under-the-bed incident, he didn't laugh. He looked angry on my behalf. I'm glad he was an idiot, Adrian said, taking my hand, because it led you here. 6 months later, Adrian introduced me to his mother, Eleanor. I was terrified. But Eleanor was a retired literature professor with a warm smile. Adrian tells me you're brilliant, she said, pouring tea. I'm just happy he found someone who challenges him. There were no schemes, no hidden agendas, just tea and kindness. One day we ran into Liam at the park. He looked older, tired. He was with a woman who looked unhappy. He saw me on Adrian's arm, happy and glowing. Elena, he said, you look good. Thanks, I said. I'm sorry for everything. I know, I said. Take care, Liam. Your ex? Adrian asked as we walked away. Just a lesson I had to learn, I smiled. A year later, Adrian proposed. No grand spectacle, just a quiet dinner at home. I want to wake up with you every day, he said. I want to build a life with you. Our wedding was small. My father walked me down the aisle, beaming. Maya was my maid of honor. Eleanor cried happy tears. That night, sitting on the balcony of our new home, Adrian asked, Are you happy? Immensely, I said. And you know what? I'm never hiding under a bed again. We laughed. It was our inside joke. Years passed. We had a daughter, Lucas, then a son, Leo, and finally a surprise baby girl, Isabella. My father, Robert, eventually found happiness too. He met a woman named Grace. I saw my dad smile in a way I hadn't seen since Mom died. Life was full. Noisy breakfasts, school runs, chaotic holidays. One day, Isabella came home crying. A girl at school said I was adopted because I don't look like Lucas. I hugged her tight. You are mine, I said. You look just like my grandmother. We pulled out old photo albums. Isabella asked, Mom, where are your wedding photos? The first ones. I threw them away, I said, because that wasn't a happy day. Why? Because I learned that day that you have to stand up for yourself. But I kept one thing. I went to my closet and pulled out the old wedding dress. It was yellowing now. This dress reminds me that even when things go wrong, they can lead you to the right place. For our 15th wedding anniversary, Adrian and I decided to renew our vows. The kids helped organize it. It was in the same park where we had met Liam that day. My father gave a speech. 15 years ago, Elena made a choice. She chose honesty, and she found Adrian. And look at what they built. Maya stood up. To justice, she toasted, and to the fact that the best revenge is a happy life. Even Eleanor read a poem. That night, I received a letter. It was from Victoria. She was in hospice care. The letter was shaky. Dear Elena, I don't expect forgiveness, but I wanted you to know that I watched you from afar. I saw your family. You did what I couldn't. You built something real. Thank you for saving my son from me. He's a better man now because you forced him to stand on his own. Victoria. I showed it to Adrian. What do you want to do? He asked. I want to go see her. I went the next day. Victoria was small, fading, but when she saw me, she cried. Thank you, she whispered. I forgive you, I said. Not for you, for me. She died a week later. Liam was at the funeral. We spoke briefly. He had turned his life around, working a steady job, raising 2 kids of his own. You saved me, he said, by kicking me out. I'm glad, I said. Life moved on. Lucas went to college. Leo won an art scholarship in Paris. Isabella became a soloist in the church choir. My father passed away peacefully in his sleep a few years later. He left a legacy of kindness. One evening, sitting on the porch with Adrian, watching our grandchildren play on the lawn, I thought back to that night under the bed. What are you thinking about? Adrian asked. Just the butterfly effect, I said. If I hadn't hidden under that bed, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have you. I wouldn't have them. Then I'm glad you did, he kissed my forehead. I looked at my family. It wasn't perfect, but it was true. It was built on solid ground, not lies. And as the sun set, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, I whispered a quiet thank you to the universe. Thank you for the dust bunnies. Thank you for the creaky bed springs. Thank you for the betrayal. Because without the darkness, I never would have found my light. If you enjoyed this story, and if you believe that sometimes the worst moments lead to the best ones, hit that like button. It helps the channel so much. And tell me in the comments, what's the biggest blessing in disguise you've ever had? Don't forget to subscribe for more stories about love, resilience, and the beautiful chaos of life. See you in the next life story.